AI had its big day on Capitol Hill with Sam Altman, the CEO of tech company OpenAI, appearing before Congress just yesterday to both respond to concerns by the elected officials, but also to raise some of his own concerns. Even the beginning of our clip is going to be a little bit concerning. Here you have Senator Blumenthal playing a statement that was, as so many statements are these days, generated by ChatGPT.
Too often, we have seen what happens when technology outpaces regulation. The unbridled exploitation of personal data, the proliferation of disinformation, and the deepening of societal inequalities. We have seen how algorithmic biases can perpetuate discrimination and prejudice, and how the lack of transparency can undermine public trust. This is not the future we want. If you were listening from home, you might have thought that voice was mine and the words from me. But in fact, that voice was not mine. The words were not mine. And the audio was an AI voice cloning software trained on my floor speeches. The remarks were written by ChatGPT when it was asked how I would open this hearing.
Yeah, look, honestly, as the senator points out, it is hard to tell the difference between the two, except that once it went back to actually him, he spoke more slowly and made more mistakes than the AI. So technically the AI wins this round, ding, ding. That was concerning. Not necessarily just that the words were generated by him, but that voice training thing, JR, that was haunting. Like that was his voice. I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference.
It's crazy. I wish I'd actually closed my eyes. Usually when people are doing like impressions, you're like, oh man, that guy sounds solely just like Jamie Foxx. And you have to like look away to see if you really feel it. It seems that way. There was a couple pauses I feel like maybe could have given it away. But again, only if you're looking for it will you then notice it. I was just talking about this, I think yesterday, about how we kind of don't know where this is, how badly this can go. And yes, we've been talking about the dangers of AI for a minute now. So it's not like a new conversation, but then again, it's a conversation that then people aren't taking, I think, to a degree to realize just how misleading and bad this can be and the things it could cause. We got politicians who are openly, and pundits, even worse, openly and readily able to lie, promote lies to a huge audience, and those audiences believe it no matter what. We got things where it's directly showing what people have done that are on the wrong side of history or the wrong side of a debate and an argument, and they go, yeah, that's our guy, that horrible guy. So imagine if it's a lie about someone's opponent, which obviously is the case. It's not like we can think that political figures are the type that wouldn't want to push lies and then accept them as reality. Check out QAnon, check out Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Lauren Boebert, Donald F. and Trump. It's the way that they are. So why would they pull back on this level? If nothing else, they're like, please bring it on. We need more misinformation. We need more confusion because that facilitates our confusion towards our constituents, our minions, if you would.
Yeah, it's amazing. And
that's what's coming, bro.
You're 100% right. It is like, we're gonna be fooled even. Like we're gonna do due diligence, but inevitably, in some case, we're gonna get it wrong because it's too good and it's gonna be too common. But by the way, when I say too good, I just mean good enough for the right. Because you gotta remember, it doesn't have to perfectly match the voice of AOC or Ilhan Omar or whatever. And what they say doesn't have to be at all plausible. The right wants it to be true, or they want to pretend that it's true, so they will spread it. The right didn't spread fake news back in the 2016 election because it was plausible. They spread it because it was awesome for them. That's why they did it. And this is gonna be a little bit easier to fool, your grandmother or whatever. And so it is gonna be everywhere. And I'm very worried about it. Not the only one. Here is Sam Altman. Actually, we talked about him earlier, talking about the need for regulation.
OpenAI was founded on the belief that artificial intelligence has the potential to improve nearly every aspect of our lives, but also that it creates serious risks we have to work together to manage. We think that regulatory intervention by governments will be critical to mitigate the risks of increasingly powerful models. For example, the US government might consider a combination of licensing and testing requirements for development and release of AI models above a threshold of capabilities. I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong. And we want to be vocal about that. We want to work with the government to prevent that from happening. It's one of my areas of greatest concern, the more general ability of these models to manipulate, to persuade, to provide sort of one-on-one, interactive disinformation. I think people are able to adapt quite quickly. When Photoshop came onto the scene a long time ago, for a while, people were really quite fooled by Photoshopped images, and then pretty quickly developed an understanding that images might be Photoshopped. This will be like that, but on steroids. There will be an impact on jobs. We try to be very clear about that.
Okay, so look, I think that a lot of the concerns that he's bringing up make a lot of sense. Here's the thing, the CEO of a company calling for regulation of his own company, the own industry his company is a part of, is a great way to get headlines. It is not necessarily a great path in terms of doing the exact thing he's asking for. And I say that because I don't know exactly what sort of regulations are needed. I don't think anybody has a 100% read of exactly what needs to be done, and it needs to evolve over time. But a lot of people have already pointed out that the sort of path forward that he is sketching out would obviously benefit companies that are already large, already well-funded, already have done a lot of this training and all of that. They've already locked in the gains. It's like massively restricting carbon output. Like that affects countries that haven't yet developed a lot more than those that already have and have already gotten the benefit of the prior unregulated periods. So whatever regulations come, I do think have to be equitable when it comes to the gap between those who've been doing this for years and have had tens of billions of dollars of funding and those that haven't yet. But that said, before we get to JR for your thoughts, he was bringing up some fears. I want to jump ahead to video 4 with John Kennedy talking about his different theories of AI.
Hypothesis number 1, many members of Congress do not understand artificial intelligence. Hypothesis number 2, that absence of understanding may not prevent Congress from plunging in with enthusiasm and trying to regulate this technology in a way that could hurt this technology. Hypothesis number 3 that I would like you to assume. There is likely a berserk wing of the artificial intelligence community that intentionally or unintentionally could use artificial intelligence to kill all of us and hurt us the entire time that we are dying. Assume all of those to be true.
Kill us and hurt us all the time that we're dying? Look, I don't know exactly what he's saying. I would wager that I still have a better understanding of what he's saying than he does. But I get the idea that the ignorance of our elected officials could be bad when you're talking about a dangerous technology. So I guess I'll give John Kennedy that. Anyway, final thought goes to you, JR.
I feel like he was searching for a way to I mean, it's already concerning enough, but we have to find some ramped up way to talk about this. And it's just Republican 101. I'm still trying to figure out what the F he's talking about. What, I don't know. One thing though, go ahead. I had a thought, but
final point for you.
Distracted me from his thought. But if you guys run that video again, just next me if we have 5 seconds to do so. I'm really trying to figure out, because the whole time as he was rambling slowly, extremely slowly, I was trying to figure out how Shia LaBeouf has gotten the staffing position with look at him over on the right side of the screen. Is that not
a little bit? That's not actually Shia LaBeouf. That is AI putting Shia LaBeouf's face onto it. I do that for all of our B-roll. Actually, it just makes me more comfortable with the videos that we play.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.